This one is what in the hell is going on over at Universal? These guys right now, they're going to be going, what's happening? $340 million is currently what is being speculated, what is being reported as the new budget of Fast X. Why? I don't know. Let's find out more. So according to Screen Crush here, they say Fast X will reportedly be one of the most expensive movies ever made. Now, if you've ever looked at this franchise, and I do have the numbers we'll bring up here in a second, the franchise does pull in some serious green. 100% pulls in some serious ass green. This franchise has made money. It's made money before The Rock. It made money after The Rock. I'm sorry. I hate to burst everyone's bubble about that, but that's true. It's made some serious cash, which means that that Universal is going to put up the money in order to make sure that things go smoothly, especially following the departure of Justin Lin and the bringing in of Louis Leterrier to helm these movies. It will be fascinating. So let's say here, going on, it says Fast and Furious saga has come a long way from chronicling the adventures of a bunch of LA street racers. Yeah. If you go back to the first movie, it's literally just Point Break, but with racers. I mean, that's perfectly fine, but that's really about it. Like it's Vin Diesel was Bodhi. So there you have it. Now the Fast movies involve epic globe-trotting adventures, spies, endless chases, and even cars in space. Absolutely, guys. All that spectacle adds up. According to a report in The Wrap, the next Fast and Furious movie, Fast X, will be the most expensive movie in the franchise to date, and if their numbers are accurate, one of the most expensive ever. They say that their source with knowledge of the production pegs the budget at $340 million, the result of numerous budget-busting elements, increased salaries for series star Vin Diesel and the rest of the franchise's ensemble cast, general increases in production costs caused by global inflation, and charges for pandemic testing requirements mandated by COVID-19 safety protocols. If you have looked at just the cast that is in Fast 10. I mean, yeah, their budgets they're going into ENDGAME level, right? They're absolutely positively going into that particular category. And that it's only going to get worse. Going on here, it says Hollywood accounting is notoriously private and murky. So it's tough to get an official and definitive numbers for any movie, much less gigantic ones. But according to some lists, $340 million will put Fast X in the top 5 most expensive movies ever, only behind Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides and the last 3 Avengers sequels, Age of Ultron, Endgame, and Infinity War. I don't know why Endgame came before Infinity War. What are you doing? Who wrote this article here? I don't even know. By Screen Crush staff. You guys couldn't even get the lineage correctly. Anyway, I know I'm nitpicking. That would mean Fast X could potentially cost more than every Star Wars ever made, every Harry Potter ever made, every James Bond movie ever made, plus Justice League, Avatar, Titanic, and notorious high price bombs like John Carter and the Lone Ranger. I actually enjoyed both John Carter and the Lone Ranger, but it says here for sake of comparison, you know what? Here's the thing. I have a list here. I brought this up. So here's what the budgets were for these movies and what they brought home, going all the way back to the original June 22nd, 2001, $38 million for the Fast and the Furious ended up grossing worldwide box office of $206 million. Then 2 years later, Too Fast, Too Serious ended up doubling its budget with no Vin Diesel and only gross an additional $30 million worldwide. Now, the thing to remember about that too is the fact that these movies did very well on home video, right? They did very good on home video. Then 3 years later, there was a soft reboot with Tokyo Drift, a movie that a lot of people out there didn't really vibe with at that time. I think people have come to love it now, but they didn't really vibe with it back in 2006. And that had a worldwide take home of $157 million on an $85 million budget. Then they kept that same budget, but brought back the entire cast for Fast and Furious 3 years later. And that did $359 million. I mean, obviously, like well over 2 times what Tokyo Drift did. So that goes to show you that obviously people were digging what was coming out of that. Then, of course, we've got 2 years later, Fast 5, definitively, in my opinion, the best of the Fast and Furious movies. I love Fast 5. That had a $125 million budget, $630 million worldwide. Obviously, the inclusion of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did help with that, but the spectacle of Fast 5, the heist version of it, all of that stuff, that really, really sold that movie to a lot of repeat viewers, and that was a big factor. Then Fast and Furious 6 coming out only a couple years after that with a $160 million budget, grossed even more money, $789 million worldwide, which is crazy. But that, again, is coming off the hype of number 5. Number 5 really did reset the tone, and a lot of people absolutely loved it. Then you had Furious 7, the movie that cost $190 million. A lot of that had to do with the tragedy of Paul Walker passing in the fall of 2013. Weird to think that he's been dead now for 9 years, but that went on to go do $1.5 billion, right? $1.5 billion, followed up by The Fate of the Furious 2 years later, which had an even bigger budget of $250. Obviously, certain people requesting a lot more money, and the inclusion of Charlize Theron, $1.236 billion worldwide. Followed up 2 years after that by Hobbs and Shaw, which only did $760 million worldwide on another $200 million budget. And then Fast 9, The Fast Saga during COVID, movie that was delayed, but still coming out during COVID when the box office wasn't as big as it is right now, still pulled in $720 million worldwide. I mean, obviously these movies have pulled so much money. They have made absolutely so much cash. It makes all the sense in the world that Universal's like, let's just put this money out there and let's go with that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Fast X and Fast 11, they're doing like, those are the last two, right? So are they shooting them back to back? I don't know all of the specifics about Fast X. I still haven't seen Fast 9 or Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know why. I'm a huge Fast and Furious fan. I love all that shit. I still haven't seen the last two movies. I need to. I will, obviously. I have Peacock because I'm an Xfinity member, so I'll have to go and do that one. Rami Batflick here says James Wan made Fast and Furious great again. Yeah, he really did. He really did. And he took what he learned off of that movie and he brought that over to Aquaman, and that went on to go do another $1 billion. He had 2 in a row, man. 2 in a row. I freaking loved it. I love James Wan as a director. That dude can do a lot. And with that, he did a great job. But look, man, I love the Fast and Furious franchise. Obviously, when you start bringing in stars like this and the movies expand and they expand and they expand and the stars start wanting more money, and they all, and they deserve the money because they keep making the cash for the studio. You can see why these particular stories and these particular movies are going to balloon the way that they did. However, $340 million, goddamn, you guys, goddamn. You know what? It better be a spectacle, but I think I'll be there day one. I'm not going to lie. I'll watch the ones I have. I'll catch up on all of them, but I'll definitely be there because I do love these movies, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun here. Although Fandom NSL's really quick at the end says it could be worse. It could have had a $44 billion budget. That's right. At least we can argue that no matter how bad the Fast and Furious movies might be, they're still not as bad as a dumpster fire that Twitter has turned into in literally 3 weeks. And there we go with that.